I don't know when it happened, but at some point, I stopped playing video games and just started watching other people play them.
Wow, this video speaks to me cause that's exactly what I do now.
There's this trap I keep falling into. I'll binge a whole game on YouTube and then think, I should have played that. But I don't. And the weird part is, I don't even know when I stopped playing and started just watching. I don't remember the first time I watched someone play a game, but the one that immediately comes to mind is watching my friend play The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. We were always together.
That's a blast from the past. Loved that game. That was one of my favorite games in the world. Took me years to beat. Felt like I grew up with this character, Link.
He was my neighbour and almost lived at my house. At the time, I had a mattress on my floor, no bed frame, just a mattress, and these worn out sofa cushions we used to call the couch spot. That's where he'd sit when he played. I'd just lie there in bed. It was comforting. It felt like a joint journey through the game. I was just content to be there with my friend, both enjoying the game. Zelda was kind of new to me at the time. I'd played it a little bit, but never got very far. I did know some of it though. I'd seen clips online, speedruns and all that. I knew that the water temple was one of the hardest bits of
Zelda speedruns are crazy, bro. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
the game. I knew the weird sounds that Link made when he jumps. But this was the first time I actually saw the game properly, start to finish, through him. It just felt good to watch someone who genuinely loved a game play it. His excitement made it feel like I was reliving something special, even though I'd never really lived it myself. There was this strange second-hand nostalgia to it, and it felt better than playing.
This AI transforms a kid's photo into a personalized storybook parents will pay for. Here's how it works.
AI storybooks. You gotta get that AI storybook.
Before that, there was a game called Marathon 2. I think it's one of the earliest games I remember watching, and my dad was playing it. He wasn't much of a gamer by the time that I was around, but he'd tell me stories about the ZX Spectrum and about a game called Marsport. Eventually, we dug out that old machine, and I gave it a try myself.
Never heard of this game. Looks weird.
But Marathon 2, that's the game that stuck with me. I remember the game box, the alien worlds, the NPCs. The sounds the monsters made is still burned into my brain. He didn't play it for long, not that I saw anyway, but something about seeing my dad enjoy a game left a mark on me. Over time, Marathon 2 became mine. I started messing around with custom maps from CD-ROMs bundled with Mac magazines. It turned into one of the most formative gaming experiences of my childhood, and it started just by watching. I did try playing Ocarina of Time myself later. I don't remember how far I got, or why I stopped, but I do remember this feeling that came over me, like something was missing. And at the time, I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't the graphics, it wasn't the gameplay. It just didn't feel alive in the way that it did when I was watching my friend play it. And I think that's what it was. He was the energy. His enthusiasm rubbed off on me. He'd already played the game before. He knew what was coming. But instead of that making the game boring for him, it was like reliving an old favourite. When I tried to play it alone, I didn't have that. It was just me and the game. And suddenly, it felt quiet, still and lifeless. That wasn't the only time that this happened. Years later, it was another friend who took over the controller, and this time it wasn't just one game. It was Oblivion and Skyrim. Whenever he played, it was gold.
Never played any of these games. Not my type of games. Well, these days I only play fighting games because it's quick. You get through arcade, about 7 to 8 rounds, you're finished. Get back to work. Work.
I used to call him the walking Elder Scrolls encyclopedia. He just knew things. He knew where to go to start certain quests, which NPCs had funny voice lines, which quests would lead where. But it wasn't just that he knew things, it was that he performed the game. He played it like it was his stage. When that friend was playing, it was like I was sat in a theatre watching stand-up comedy. I distinctly remember one night he was just jumping around a city in Oblivion. The characters jumped really high in that game, and I don't even remember why it was funny, just that it was. His commentary, his quick reactions, the way that he talked about the game, it made it feel like a show. And yeah, I played Skyrim, and I did play Oblivion. I played them through multiple times actually, but it was never as fun as when I was watching my friend play it. It wasn't about the story, or the combat, or the levelling up. It was the atmosphere, the shared laughter, the way we'd sit there for hours, not even needing to say much because the game itself became this shared joke that we were both in on. And it wasn't about finishing the game, it never was. It was about being there, in that moment, together. And then, like all...
Yeah, friendship is awesome back then when you never had to think about much. You just played games, talk about random nonsense, and that was life.
all things, it just sort of stopped. I don't remember why, but it just faded. He moved out, life changed, and we never made the decision to stop. It just happened. These days, it's different. I don't sit on the floor watching friends play games anymore. I watch YouTube.
That Silent Hill soundtrack. Man, I drew a lot of stuff just listening to that soundtrack and wrote a lot of stories for this thing what I'm doing right now. Good times.
Sometimes I'll see videos recommended to me, usually a horror game. That's the genre that me and my wife Jo enjoy playing together the most. One of my favourite
I love watching horror games. It's so cool, man. Especially movies. Love that. Love it, man.
playthroughs I've ever watched was Jesse Cox and his friends playing Until Dawn. I remember laughing out loud at the stuff that they...
Man, this was a game that I've watched multiple people play. Markiplier, Japter, and some others. Man, this game was crazy cool. New concept, awesome.
they'd come up with. The way they tried to solve the mystery of the game early on. How they bounced off each other. It was genuinely entertaining. They saw the game in a way I knew I couldn't. I don't think I have that kind of analytical brain. I'm not quick like they are. I don't piece things together mid-story, and I think that's part of why I keep going back to that channel, even today. Whenever they upload horror games, I'm right there, watching along. Until Dawn would have been the perfect game for me and Jo to play. One of us playing, the other one watching. That's kind of how we like to do games together. And we did play some of the later games in the same series. And we did have fun. We enjoyed playing through them. But part of me always feels like Jesse's version was better. Like we...
Wait, later games for Until Dawn, or am I missing something here? Then again, I've heard there was another game, but I didn't play it or see it at all.
missed our chance to have that experience properly. Every so often, one of my favourite YouTubers will upload a full playthrough of something new. A game that I haven't played yet, but it looks interesting. And I'll binge the whole thing. I'll sit there for hours, completely absorbed, watching someone else have the experience I maybe should have had. And by the end of it, I'll get that sinking feeling. I should have played that. And even deeper than that, it's like I've watched someone else live a life that I could have had, and now it's gone.
Do this 7 minutes a day until May 19th. We start this Monday. In 1 week, you'll feel better. In 2 weeks...
Gotta work out. Gotta work out, man. Work out.
You look better.
Most of the games in my Steam library, I just don't feel like loading them up. It's like looking at a full wardrobe and thinking, I've got nothing to wear. There's plenty of choice, but none of it feels right. What I'm really looking for is a game that has my friends in it. I recently went back to Valheim after not having played it for a couple of years. It wasn't the game...
Never played it, probably never will.
game that pulled me back in. It was my wife and a couple of friends all jumping back on. That's what's made it all feel worth it. It's the same with Minecraft too. Sometimes I watch a video about it, remember the fun that we used to have, and that...
Man, I could never understand why people like this game so much, but that's the thing with games. You always have different fan bases, so cool.
will spark something. I'll end up gathering a few people. We'll build bases, dig together, talk rubbish while we mine through the caves. And for a couple of weeks it's great fun. But then my attention starts to drift. I start checking the Discord less. Someone misses a night, the rhythm breaks, and suddenly the magic's gone. That's when I find myself back on the Steam store.
Yeah, it's growing up, man. People got things to do now, so can't expect them to be on that game all the time now, man. Yeah.
Scrolling again, waiting to feel excited about something, even if I know I probably won't hit play. Most of the time, when I'm browsing the Steam store, I'm not actually looking for something to play. I'm just scrolling. I'll see a thumbnail and instantly think, the graphics look crap. Nah, I won't give a game more than 3 seconds. 99% of the time I close the store feeling worse than when I opened it. I end up feeling disengaged and unmotivated, like I just wasted 15 minutes proving to myself that there's nothing out there worth feeling excited about. My wife will sometimes tell me, just play something that you know you'll like, and she's right. But when I'm in that mindset, I say no to everything. It's like I forget how to enjoy things, and the only thing that really feels worth doing is just going to bed and sleeping it off. And yet, every now and then...
Yeah, man. But I can only sleep for about 6 hours and I'm awake. Man, those 8-hour sleeps were so good back then.
I'll see a video on YouTube, someone playing a game that I've never heard of, and within 5 seconds, something clicks. That looks cool, and I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't want to read any reviews. I don't want to even know anything about the game. I just want to play it. That's when I feel most alive. When I know absolutely nothing about a game, but something in me just knows, this is it. But these days it feels like I have this filter going on inside of my brain. Too many preferences, too many opinions, and too many preloaded thoughts before I even hit start. I mostly find new games through YouTube now, through someone else's excitement. I don't really go looking on my own anymore. I don't have a big takeaway from this. No grand point that I'm trying to make. I just miss it. The mattress, the couch spot, the jokes, the shared discoveries. I miss watching someone else play a game and feeling like I was part of something, even if I wasn't holding the controller. When I think about that moment, me on the mattress, my friend in the couch spot, Ocarina of Time on the screen, I don't think about the game itself. I think about how I didn't have any other worries. I knew I'd see my friend tomorrow, and probably the day after. I wasn't thinking...
Exactly. Back then, things were so simple, man. You just played games, have fun, drink some soda, eat some burgers. Yeah. The life, man.
Thinking about money, or the future, or whether my life was going anywhere. I was just there. And honestly, that's all I've ever wanted from video games. To feel absorbed. To be fully in something. There was a time that I got that from Counter-Strike. I played it obsessively for a time.
Now that's a game I've watched people play at the arcade back in my day. It was pretty cool.
Watching the professionals, training my aim, and trying to be better than last time. And for a brief moment, that game gave me purpose. Not in some grand life-changing way, but it made me feel present. I recently played a few matches with a friend, and for the first time in years, I didn't beat myself up over every missed shot. I just had fun, and that little spark began to glimmer. Not enough for me to go full tilt into the game again, but enough to remind me of what it felt like to lose myself in something. Asmongold once said something to the effect of, "We're all just waiting for the next game to waste our lives on." I can't even remember.
Exactly. He knows what's up in this world. Wasting time, but it's fun wasting time. Yeah.
Remember which video he said it in because he uploads so many, but that line has stuck with me because it's true. The games I loved the most were the ones I let become part of my life. The ones I didn't just play, but I lived in. And when I think back to the mattress, the couch spot, and watching my friend play Zelda, maybe that's all I've ever been chasing. Do you find it hard to finish video games these days? Then click this video here. Thanks for listening.
Hey video creator, we know you. For you, it's about more than getting the job done.
More AI videos for your listening pleasure.
AI!
Peace.